You're watching Charlie Leaks. My name is Charles Anazodo. We are in the office of the Nigeria Football Federation Supremo, the very luxurious office. And you all also know that he is a member of the FIFA Executive Committee. And it's our pleasure to have him here on Charlie Leaks. And we are going to be talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria and his person and how he rose to become what he is in world football today. So please, let's make welcome Amaju Pinnick. Amaju, good to have you on Charlie Leaks.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.
Let's talk about the Super Eagles. Of most recent was the Africa Cup of Nations, and quite a number of people expected so much from the Super Eagles, but unfortunately lost out to Tunisia when they did. Was that a major disappointment for you?
Yeah, it was a major disappointment for everybody, not just me, because we started very well. Very few people gave us a chance against Egypt. And when we played against them, we dominated the game. We outplayed them in all departments, and we won the game. And then, of course, Nigeria started talking about finals. But we were quite prayerful, and we talked to the team. But it's football, it can go either way. We never wanted it to go the other way. But like I said, football is a 90-minute game that can tilt towards either you or your opponent. And it tilted towards the opponent on that day. But we've learned a lot of lessons from that, and we are trudging on, moving forward. And I've been having personally sleepless nights because of our next game, which is a do or die, so to speak. The qualifying game against Ghana. We've been on it since after the exit, our exit from the Nations Cup, breaking up all strategies. But the good news about it is that our players are so excited, so passion-driven about that particular game. They've shown a lot of commitment, a lot of concern, and I think they are ready to go. We with the Honorable Minister, myself, and the General Secretary, and even the coaches, we had very good meetings with the players. And every day we talk to them. And they really want to go to the World Cup. And last week we were in Nike headquarters because they were changing the team that manages Nigeria to a new team. I wanted to have a final confirmation of our World Cup jerseys. So you can imagine the sentiment. If you see what Nike is bringing out, by God's grace we qualify. It's out of this world, trust me. It will make those other jerseys look like what other people refer to as a welfare case. It's so beautiful, so well crafted, and So you can see that we are planning prayerfully in ensuring that we qualify. From yesterday, when Ghana did not use Kumasi, immediately as I speak to you now, the chairperson of the media committee is in Kumasi as we speak, doing a final inspection and, some other things that she's doing with some other members of our team. And we also wrote to CAF because we're having issues of accommodation. And CAF and the Ghana FA president called my very good friend, had called. And they are sorting all those things out. Just before he came, I just concluded with the airline, on my own. I'm taking charge of so many things now because myself and the General Secretary, we don't want to leave any stone unturned. At our level, this is the biggest price to pay. And we don't want to leave. Oh, the jerseys are not. I said, just make sure all the jerseys for the team, all the innerwears, their gears, A to Z, you personally. And I've been doing that. Finance team, what is going on? What do we have? What are we mopped up together? This. Have we done this? Have we done that? Is your accommodation settled? A to Z. The airline, the travel agent wrote to us because flight tickets are crazy now, We said, go ahead, So we don't want to leave any stone unturned. So, and we also pray, because there's nothing, I've already said it, we can do there's no success without prayers. So we are working on that. We're having our pastors even go to listen with us as well. We are Christians or believe so much in the Spirit, in the power of our Lord Jesus Christ. The Muslims too, they believe in their Quran and also their own belief. So in a combined manner, we are trying to pray and make sure that everything that we plan will come to pass.
Well, let's talk about the coaching crew. Can you explain to us what happened to Jose Peseiro? Because what we believed was that he was going to be in Cameroon to watch the team and eventually take over.
Once we were still going back and forth with his, because it's not easy to just have a foreign coach and sign a contract. Now, every clauses they want to see, even up to your punctuation marks, comma, you need to. So we're at that point when we won our first game. So we need to pause. Or at that point, because we get this thing signed, it will go to our legal department, go to legal committee, to the executive committee, to me, So we're in that process. We're not signing any contract. When, at the point we're still contemplating whether the Nations Cup hold or not. But boom, our first game came out, we won. So we had to put everything in abeyance, which we did. And after of course, we saw what they did. And it would be unfair of us at that point to say we want to bring a foreign technical advisor when Eguavoen demonstrated leadership. So it's not about, so we look at it and say, okay, why not? Why don't we inject somebody with some kind of technical sagacity, some kind of technical savvy? And we had to bring in Amunike, who knows some of the boys, some of his boys directly, from Iheanacho, Ndidi, they all played under him, now Sime, Chukwueze, and he achieved quite a huge success with them. So he tried to inject it. And before then, you see, our relationship with the players is quite interactive. We interact with the relationship of the team. What do you think we should do? Some people suggested, Eguavoen demonstrated everything to us, but if we add Amunike, it will be icing on the cake. That's one of the players said. Now we've done that. So, and that is what we want to do. We want to build capacity. And if there's any deficiency, we'll come in an interim capacity to fill that void. What do I mean by that? If I take you back to our game against Croatia, they didn't have players completely. We lost that game. It was about 52%, ball possession. But Croatia played in the finals of the World Cup. We outplayed Egypt, beat them, outperformed them, but they played in the finals of the Nations Cup. Look, there's something fundamental that's wrong. It would have been us playing in the finals of both tournaments, So what is that missing link? That's what we are trying to unravel. Once we're able to unravel that missing link, trust me, we can win the World Cup.
What do you think that missing link is?
That is what I'm saying. We're trying, if you have any, you can share it with me. So that's what we're trying to do now. So when you say, when one of the players said, inject in Amunike, bring in Amunike, they said that will be the icing on the cake. Well, is that the missing link? We don't know yet. So what I'm trying to say is, on our part, have we provided them everything that they need? Yeah. To a large extent, in terms of equipment, in terms of technology, in terms of, quality of traveling, quality of reception in airports, quality of hotels. Have we done all these things? Yeah, we've done it appreciably. So what is that missing link? So that's what I'm trying to Nigerians now.
So
let's look for it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Amunike and Eguavoen qualify Nigeria for the World Cup. They will lead the team to Qatar.
100%, that I can tell you. I'm beating my chest on that.
So the issue of a foreign coach is
no, for now, no. You see, what I'm telling you now is, it's not about the issue of the foreign coach. It's just the issue of starting with building a strong foundation and continue on that foundation. If you look at what they did in Senegal, the coach of Senegal, 8 years, a domestic, it's not as if it started very well. But they were building capacity around them. On interim basis, if, for example, there's a defect in the defense, I can call the head of technical, I can call the head of FIFA technical. I say, please tell me who your best defensive coach. Because there are some coaches that have strength in defense, some midfield, some. That's why I see some coaches are defensive minded, some attack from the midfield, while some are offensive. So the coach says, oh, you need a Jose Mourinho, for example, because he's always defensive minded. Then I'll send my coaches to Jose Mourinho for a few weeks. If he says, if the deficiency is in the midfield, you look for a midfield coach. You send him if it's attack. You look for an attacking coach. And that might be the missing link. I don't know. I'm just saying loud, but we need to also groom. But apart from the technical abilities, the other areas about our own domestic coaches that we also need to look at, we also need to talk about and see how we can nip it in the bud. They have to show true professionalism. I don't want to talk about anything else. When I mean true professionalism, you should go and look at the definition of professionalism and ethics of work. If they have those as their abiding principle, combined with technical and leadership sagacity, trust me, we can win the World Cup. I'll just give you an example. Croatia played in the finals. Egypt, 2 years ago, we were in the semi-finals of the Nations Cup. So we don't want to be called underachievers. We want to achieve. So we have to look for that missing link.
So we're going to the World Cup. Peradventure we qualify.
Unless, listen, we are signing contract to them already, and the contract is for 2 years. There's probation, but we are signing contract with them already. I have to approve it and send it down now.
So does he still remain as head?
As technical director, yes, still the head of technical director. We are working around things, but our concentration right now is to go through this hurdle. But trust me, we want to build them. The only thing that will make us change our mind if they go against the ethos or the ethics of that office is a very tempting office, if you know what I mean. And Nigerians are also the problems of our coaches.
I understand what you mean.
Clearly, because when someone saw some names in this land, they said, calling me, under a foreign coach, that will not happen. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, but I don't want to be vocal about it. I don't want to cause any form of distraction. But for you, I don't think I would have granted an interview. Our focus now is to go through this order. It is not an easy ride. It won't be an easy ride. But our boys are committed in ensuring.
But to win the World Cup, I mean, a lot of people would say that's far-fetched. It's a huge dream and ambition. No African nation has gotten to the semi-finals, talk less of winning the World Cup. But to get to that level, you need a certain quality inherent in your team. And Nigerians are concerned because, he's on the standby list on Onazi. And his quality, is questionable, which is why Nigerians are raising their voices. My question to you is, do you think we have the necessary quality to make a dent at the FIFA World Cup? All of these players that we're calling from abroad who bear Nigerian names, are they enough for us? And as you answer that, a lot of people also think that we should be looking inward. Players from the NPFL to form a part of the national team. What's your take?
I'm not going to... there's no disparity between the NPFL and our players, our foreign legions, so to speak. But one thing I can say is we have the quality. In the Croatian team, the Croatian national team, who was the formidable name in that team? Modric. And that was it. Luka Modric. Who were the other players? Do you know them? No. But they got to the finals of the World Cup. In our team, Osimhen is ranked number 1 to 3 in Italy in attack. Indeed, is ranked number 1 to 5 in defensive midfield in England. Leon Balogun is ranked number 1 to 10 in defense in Glasgow. Now look at all this I'm talking about. I can go on and on, but there are loads and loads of key players. Even Sadiq Umar is as rated as Osimhen. is sublime. His passes are sublime. He knows how to hold the ball. It's a combination of cano and strength. So we have everything. But putting them together to achieving that common goal is what we are working on. But I can tell you emphatically, the goalkeeping department might be a bit, but there's a lot of improvement and there's a lot of competition. And if there's a player, like in Egypt, for example, only 6 foreign-based players, all the rest because of the quality of their league, which has been on for hundreds of years. Our league is over 100 years old. They've been continuity, and it can go on and on. So, but the truth is, we are not shying away from players from our domestic league. This boy that they called on, that boy from, he just left Nigeria not too long ago and went to South Africa. He's in Sundowns or Pirates. I don't know. Ndaya. But he just left Nigeria a few years ago. He's good, he's tall, he's strong. So they are going to look inwards. Thank God they are Nigerians, the coaches. So if they decide to say they are taking a Noble, for example, I will not be surprised because he's a good keeper. But one thing I don't do, I do not interfere with the selection process. You can ask the team. I beat my chest. The only time I interfered was when Ahmed Musa was having issues domestically. And Gennaro Rowe, just for the World Cup, wanted to drop him. And I told him that no, I've never made any request, but Ahmed Musa, I know his quality is facing challenge right now. But if a club is dumping a player, it's the country that should lift that player. So and I told him he should get Ahmed. And today the rest is history. Ahmed was the difference in Russia 2018.
All right, let's talk about the NPFL as well, because I mentioned that in my last question. And we're not happy with what's going on in the NPFL. It just seems like there's no growth, steady growth. League is not on television, and Nigeria is ranked one of the top playing nations on the continent. What are we doing? What's the federation doing to help the LMC achieve all of its goals and ambitions?
I don't think we should keep castigating leadership of organizations. If people know the extent to which they go through in trying to right so many wrongs, the league, the NPFL, we all know how Super Sports, which was a major pull-down, who cost it a lot of people, causing toxicity of the environment, creating what should not be created. Some people just believe that if they are not there, nobody can be there. So they do a lot of things to unsettle the system. And that has been one of the major problems. Are you telling me that Shehu Diko with an MBA, with his requisite knowledge in the game, is the head of strategy for the NFF? Are you telling me that Shehu doesn't know how to run an organization? You can't say that. Shehu has not been a failure. So, but to me is that there are a lot of factors that possibly militate against what's going on. The last one was the COVID one. But we went through it. Now, we write for sponsorship. A sponsor also come in. A group writes to the same sponsor and say, no, these people are owing us, and the group panics and check it out. We see that every day. Oh, they write to these agencies and the graft agency, they did this. Every time people just try to, but if we are trudging on and going beyond all these things, it's not because I want to be sitting as president of NFF. It's because of the fact that we have passion and we believe we can do it. We believe we can take football to that level. But what are the impediments? These are the things that we are studying and see how we can go around it. I don't want to look at issues. I don't want to start issues that are not within my control. I work on issues within my control. If the court says don't do your AGM, it's not within my control. It doesn't stop me from not working for the success of Nigeria. So to me, it goes beyond what you imagine. And I also believe if you have any way to provide any solution, you should do that. We'll look at it. There are a lot of media people that when I say, come, let's sit down, bring your ideas together. Like I asked you a question now, the missing link. If you can get the missing link for me, I'll give you $1 million. Look for it. Everybody's saying it. So we're all Nigerians. I can be here as president. Doesn't mean that you have access to me. You don't call me president, you call me Amaju because of our relationship. And I like it, I love it. Which means we are cordial, which means we are close, which means you can give me ideas. And if I don't use them, you can come out to criticize. So I take responsibility. But trust me, we are brought in, there's no me. He's not finding it easy because he has, show is there. Saliu, I've worked with these people for 20 years. And I know their areas of strength and their areas of weakness. Like every mortal, every human being, have just two areas. You must have your area of strength, you cannot just have only positives. There must be some negative in your life. But how do you overcome all this? Or reduce it to the barest minimum? Is our next chapter that we're talking about.
Okay, you talk about negatives. Is there any negative existence between Shehu Diko and Davidson Owomi? Because the story is, which I need you to either confirm or deny, that they're unable to work together.
You see, people said, Harmonica and Eguavoen are able to work together. I've not said it. Shehu Diko, two of them are strong-willed, and two of them have equal passion for the game. They're all stakeholders, and I've not said anything. The last time there was an issue on the pitch that Davidson did not like, he called me. Immediately I told him to hold on, and I added Shehu on the line, and that issue was addressed. That's how I do my things. I don't listen to, oh, you came to tell me this. No. Repeat it in presence of your chairman. And he repeated it. I love Davidson for that. It didn't mean worse. And she was able to address it. And I said, Davidson, next time, go to your chairman. Address him, talk to him. Because you might be giving a wrong impression outside. And he agreed. It doesn't mean that Shehu doesn't have his own deficiency. I have my own deficiency. You have your own deficiency. But what is our own interest? So to me, I don't want anybody to have any motive that is ulterior. Any motive that is ulterior that will be at the detriment of our society, of football development in Nigeria. Trust me, it's not easy. It is not easy. This game we are going to meet, after this game in June, we have 4 games, Nation Cup qualifiers. 4. We're looking at sponsorship. What is the funding? What is the honorarium from government, our grant from government? What is funding? What are we putting together? These 4 games plus this game, put together, minimum, we're going to be spending close to 2 billion. Do we have it? If we muscle our sponsorship together, how do we do it? Plus the grant from government, how are we going to cope? So trust me, it is a very, very difficult task. Football leadership in Nigeria.
You talked a few months ago about the Football Federation at some points being 80% solvent.
Yes.
Yeah?
What I mean, 80% solvent. I give you an example. It doesn't mean that you cannot request for an intervention. You see all these under 20 girls, under 17 girls playing, winning, is funded from our sponsorship. So, but if you have a shortfall, if you have a budget of 7 billion, and on your own you're able to muster about 4 or 5 billion, then you make a request to the government for 2 billion. People think that for every game, like this game we are going for now, we have written a memo to the government, then government will approve maybe 500 million. It is not like that. I beat my chest to say it. I stand to be corrected. You have an envelope in government, which is about 900 million on budget performance that comes to you. Do you understand? Then government intervenes when you go for major tournaments, like the World Cup, the Nations Cup, the Women's World Cup, and the Women's Nations Cup. Predominantly, then occasionally for the juniors. But on our part, based on what we have, we try to meet our expenses. And if you understand, our expenses are usually USD based. You know, how do we meet that responsibility? What do we have? How much total are we? And of course, our also sponsors are facing enormity of challenges. Our major sponsor that contributes about 25 to 30%, I tell you. Because it's what happened to them in NPFL. From them, we are being owed an obscene amount of money, but we understandably so. Because if they do not fail to pay at the appropriate time. So what I'm saying is, it is not as easy as you think. A lot of people just have this thing, oh, they're football. No. 900 million now, at most we take 2.5 survival games. Just 2.5. I give you an example, I can show you the name. I told you when we were talking about that the airline. Say, listen, our players want to come on beer, we have to pamper them, yeah. But they're flying to Abuja. It costs you between $8,000 to $10,000, depends on the kind of ticket that you get. They're inviting 25 players. That's an average of $200,000. That's a loan. It's 100 and something million naira already. Already. Then you talk about their winning match, but you talk about match organization. But we have to write to CBN for an intervention. And we're happy CBN is taking care of the entire accommodation, feeding of this team. So I want to thank the governor of CBN, who has been amazing. Not just to the Super Eagles, but to the various national teams. So I had to do that. So it's difficult because once we are playing in Lagos, Lagos takes care of our accommodation and give us some kind of honorarium for the organization and, you know, some other things, some other areas of administration and for the games, which of course is credited to our account and you see where the money goes. So trust me, it is not easy. These 8 years of Amaju Pinnick in September.
Let's talk about those 8 years that you've spent. Would you comfortably say that your administration is the most successful of all the others?
I can't say that. I can't. Seriously. I can't. Humbly, I would just say that we tried our extreme. We tried our human extreme in repositioning football. We have done our best. We came at a time when there was a transition in government, when there was a new government, a new direction, a new thinking, you know, when the dollar started skyrocketing, when a lot of things, when we didn't have sponsors, when we were almost -0 in terms of sponsorship or self-funding. But today we're happy. We are meeting some of our, we've been able to meet a lot of our contractual obligation to the team and to our organization. So we're not just, in terms of programs, we have one of the most useful things, which means we have a good youth development program, not where we want to be, but if you look at the team, it's the youngest team, one of the youngest teams in Africa. That's what we have right now. Then look at our girls doing very, very well. In the all, since I came on the 3 AFCON, we won the 3 AFCON. At least we came the first AFCON of 24 teams. We came third. Our African games, we got the 2 silver medals. The under 23 a gold in Senegal. You know, in terms of Lawrence, we have also tried, but under 17 gold. So it's not where we want to be. Trust me. That's why I told you about the World Cup, which is my dream. It's not where I want to be, but in terms of repositioning and elementally giving Nigeria a fresh breath of air in global football politics. You know, I don't think we've had it better than now. Only yesterday, Nasiro, one of the technical officers in the FA, who doubles as my PA, has been announced as a general coordinator, a FIFA general coordinator. He's going to be the general coordinator for one of the most important matches, Egypt versus Senegal. We have Christian Romero as head of FIFA, head of CAF security. We have Samson Adamu as director of competitions in CAF. I can go on and on in various committees. So globally, Nigerians are, it's not because of Amaju Pinnick, I'll say it. It's because of the country called Nigeria. We account for 16%.
Yeah, but how would you want to be remembered? And in answering that as well, Amaju, there's this silent talk about a possible third term.
First, am I eligible to run? Yes, I'm eligible to run, based on our statutes. Second, do I want to run? I don't know yet. And that's the truth. When you came to my office, what did I complain to you bitterly? And I'm sure you were surprised at my office, that I have an office. I have this, I have in Warri, I have in London. We are good, by God's grace. So I'm not coming here to say we are here because we want to support football. We are here because we are driven by passion. No doubt football has given me a lot of exposure, which has also impacted on my business positively. No doubt, that's the truth. But I can tell you for free, I've not made up my mind. But is there eligibility? Yes. My colleague in Senegal, Senghor, this is his fourth tenure as president. Under his fourth tenure, he won the Nations Cup. He left his coach for 8 years. That's the beauty of continuity. So my members were in my class yesterday. President, you have to make up your mind. We want you. But I have not, because I have to look at a lot of things. My family is one. I have to consider that. There are so many new projects I'm going into in my business. So many new projects, which possibly I might not want to sacrifice. So, but let's just cross this. Let me keep consulting. At the appropriate time, you will know. But in terms of eligibility, based on our statutes, I'm 100% eligible.
Okay, Amaju, absolute pleasure talking to you. I know you're a very busy person and you do have to go. But final question before we let you go, and this has got to do with the Confederation of African Football in relation to FIFA. And the general perception is that CAF is a stooge of FIFA, especially as it concerns the 2-year desire for the FIFA World Cup. And all of the CAF presidents across are in agreement for the 2-year cycle, and because of that, CAF has this hold. Well, FIFA has this hold on CAF.
You first ask, what is the effect of a biennial World Cup to the continent of Africa? Why is some part of Europe antagonistic to it? The biennial World Cup is a win-win situation for everyone. Now, FIFA gives each confederation, each association, about $1.25 million every year. Because the World Cup is played every 4 years. Now, those 4 years, the profit margin for FIFA is between 4 to 6 billion. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. So that money is shared within, because football, according to Gianni, football money is for football development, not for the banks. Now, if there's a biennial World Cup, this money will double. So instead of you getting 1.25, 1.5, you'll be getting $3 million. Unlike Nigeria, 60-70% of African countries or more do not participate in every tournament. They participate in only the seniors, maybe the girls, the women's, and the men's. And that can be their budget for the year, which is okay, without the government even giving them anything. I know a lot of my colleagues that their government do not even talk to in terms of financing. That I can tell you for free. So the biennial World Cup will favor Africa more, because look at UEFA. Do you know UEFA is richer than FIFA? Do you know that? UEFA makes every year 3 billion. So they make about twice what FIFA makes every 4 years. UEFA, from all their tournaments, Africa, through TV rights, pays as much as 750 million euros. What is football? Amaju to Charles, Charles to Pondit, Pondit to Awogu. Is for everybody, right? We pay. What is the solidarity from UEFA to Africa? Not a dime. Yet we invest in Africa, including you in your house, your DSTV. Over 700 for all their tournaments. Yet there's no single solidarity, even a ball thrown back at Africa for football development. And you say we shouldn't support that. We say because you are supporting Gianni. No, it's not correct. The reason is clear and it's not far-fetched. And that is the reason why we will support. And when people talk about, before the Premier League game, they go down, they kneel down and they say, why did they do that? Anti-racism. Gianni, I'll tell you today, and I stand to be corrected, and I say it very proudly, he is the apostle of the Black Lives Matter when he appointed Fatma Samora, a black Muslim from Sub-Saharan Africa, to be Secretary General of FIFA. I know what went down when that appointment came up. So if you see somebody that loves Africa, you should also reciprocate that gesture.
But how close is this to becoming a reality? Because from what you've said, it's beneficial to Africa from a financial perspective.
Listen, apart from Europe, listen, I mean, you should understand that I don't play peripheral politics globally. I play integral, deep inside. So if I'm talking, I talk with authority. I've represented the president of FIFA in major meetings globally. And I know what is going on. Even in Europe, there are 56 countries. We can muscle out 10. In Africa, it's 100%. In Asia, about 90%. In CONCACAF, about 90%. In CONMEBOL, which they have some kind of alliance with UEFA, we have about, they are just 11 members. We have about 100% with us. But I don't want to go into, I don't start giving you the numbers because it's not for the public. But I can tell you, if there is a vote today, the Ghana World Cup will sail through easily. But a lot of things we are still holding down, we are still doing some consultation. And at the appropriate time, good or bad, nobody should take it from Gianni Infantino that it doesn't mean well for football development globally. He loves football. He's driven by the passion to develop it to the highest level. And whatever you are seeing in UEFA today, he engineered and re-engineered it when he was General Secretary of UEFA.
Okay, Amaju, thank you for talking to us on Charlie Leaks. Any last words to Nigerians, especially ahead of the FIFA World Cup?
Keep praying for the Super Eagles. Pray for me. Pray for Charles to have another wife.
All right, thank you for talking to us.
Bye. Thank you.
Really appreciate it. All right, we just spoke with Amaju Pinnick, the Supremo at the Nigeria Football Federation, and of course, the executive member of the Federation of International Football Association. I do hope you enjoyed the interview. There's more to come your way right here on Charlie Leaks. Please don't go anywhere. Stay with us and catch up on all of the excitement right here.